anything until I tell you to do it. But start by putting your hands together like this. Now, in the process of doing this, I also found out some very non-scientific information, but I found it out. I want you to look down at your thumbs. If your left thumb is over your right thumb, that means you're extremely sexy. She wants to change her thumbs.
No, I don't.
Wants to make sure her thumbs are in the right part. Okay. Well, just pay attention. If your left thumb is over your right thumb, that means you're very sexy. If your right thumb is over your left thumb, I'm sorry. But some people don't do either. Some people do this. They put them side by side. Someday you'll make up your mind. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Take this. Don't do it till I tell you. This is extremely important. I want to have you to bring them up and hold them like this. Hands and palms still together. And here's all you're going to do. Stare at the space between your fingers. All right, ready? Everybody out, stare at the space between your fingers. And as you do, your fingers are going to become magnets. As a matter of fact, your fingers are magnets. And because your fingers are magnets, one a minus, one a positive, they're going to come together and touch. And when they do, you can put your hands right back down into your lap. As soon as your fingers touch, put them down. They're magnets, come together. Magnets, 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 coming closer and closer and closer. They're magnets. They're magnets coming closer and closer. And when they touch, you can put your hands right down in your lap. Magnets coming together, magnets. Your fingers are magnets. Subconscious mind, those fingers are magnets. Fingers are magnets. Fingers are magnets. Now, everybody except Tom and Angela. Angela's still on this. I'm not going to shake your hand. So now she's got to win, right? But, see, all of you whose fingers came together, that ain't no big deal to me. They would have done that automatically. But the two that they didn't come together, they become a big deal. Because Tom chose, and I'm watching him, to pull them back apart. That means there was some resistance. And it's the resistance I'm looking for, because that means there's a lack of trust. I haven't explained it right. There's some reason that they want to do this. And that was true in every case I've ever done except one. And one, I already knew she was extremely highly hypnotizable. And the reason I knew that was when I said to her, I would like for you to close your eyes and imagine that you're at home in your kitchen. And she started screaming bloody murder, yelling, going on and fighting and kicking. My heart's going, and I was just so thankful that her husband wasn't out there in that waiting room, but was sitting right back there with me. He knew what happened. And then I says, now this took composure. Well, Nancy, I can see that I've said something that's really upset you. Would you mind sharing with me what it is? Now that's what I was saying. That ain't how I was feeling. I don't have a kitchen. My kids burned it down. We're living in a last week. You get all kinds. But she also kept her fingers apart. So I said, Nancy, how come your fingers didn't come together? You told me to keep them apart. She took the first literal movement, and she did. So I've seen that a lot. So let's go ahead and go through that again, because remember what I told you yesterday. This can be used for a lot of purposes, but it's a great induction also. Now, in using this as an induction, what else are we using? What other sense? We just used eye fixation. We're using it again, right? So go ahead and put your fingers up. Stare at the space between your fingers. And you do it, you'll notice that your fingers start pulling together because they're like magnets, and magnets will attract each other. They're attracting closer and closer and closer and closer. When they come together, and just let your hands drop in your lap. And when your hands hit your lap, go ahead and close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. As soon as they come together, they are magnets. They are magnets. They are magnets. Come together, touch, 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 touch. And as soon as they touch, you'll go right into a hypnotic state. And they will touch. They'll touch, touch, touch as you drift down, 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 deeper, 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 deeper. Now, very good. You can open your eyes. What would happen now if I'm using it as an induction and they don't come together? What would I do? I just say, it's okay to let your fingers come together now. And then as they're coming together, I said, but would you mind? Tell me why you didn't allow your fingers to come together before. Because naturally they would come together. Now, Tom yesterday when we did it, his was coming, I saw him pull them back. Now, I use that as isn't it wonderful to know that you still have control? As long as they know they're in control and they can trust you with that, it works really, really, really well. What I forgot to ask you about in the eye fixation, when you held your thumb up, were you surprised that when you looked beyond it, you didn't see your thumb anymore? It was gone? You weren't surprised, or that didn't happen to you, John? Okay. Yeah. But you take a kid and do that. Whoa, how'd you do that? So there's a lot of little techniques and things that can be utilized there. All right.
Finger thing was really I wanted to see if I could control it.
Well, aren't you glad you could control it? You did good, Tom. You did good.